I really like his powers. He's able to like go super fast, and he looks dope. So yeah, Quicksilver.
Pretty dope looking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would be actually Captain America.
Why so?
Because he's a big, strong guy, very brave, good morals about him. Really, leadership type. Always looking to do the right thing. And as this film shows, even before he had the serum that made him big and strong, he was still a strong little guy. This is just so awesome and inspirational. What about you, Anthony?
I had a character, but then I'm like, oh yeah, X-Men. So I just expanded everything. I think I would probably go with that's a toughie. Probably either Wolverine or else probably Spider-Man actually.
Spider-Man?
Nice.
Like, I'm not even specifying which version of Spider-Man, just Spider-Man as a whole. Like, his powers are dope. I think everybody's always wanted to have Spider-Man's powers of flinging from buildings, super strength, and spider senses and stuff like that. And also, he's just a humble guy just trying to do what he needs to do. Like, that Wolverine, because, like, for one, his powers are dope. Regenerative abilities and claws and strength, and also Hugh Jackman, like, workout goals, not gonna lie. But like, I don't know, yeah, I'd probably just pick him for those bits. Like, he has a lot of issues, but he tries to do the best that he can.
We all got issues.
Yeah. Some of them might be just claws coming in your hands and where did I come from? Yeah. Okay.
I thought it was really awesome. Probably one of my favorite movies in the whole MCU. Like, honestly, for me, top 3.
Top 3? Wow.
Top 3. Like, that's a big claim.
That's good.
Like, Endgame #1, of course.
That's fair.
2 is Spider-Man. Probably Far From Home. Probably.
Far From Home, really?
Yeah, probably Far From Home.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We are far from home, aren't we?
That's true.
We're all the way down the country. Wow.
Yeah, like a 5-hour drive.
Probably the farthest from my home than you guys, though.
It's alright. You're okay. And then Captain America, the first Avenger, #3, because Cap is my favorite hero. He's got awesome storyline, and just such a great guy for us. Love the actor Chris Evans.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, not a favorite opinion, but I actually loved him in Fantastic Four.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Loved the Human Torch.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. There you go.
Such a polar opposite character.
No, I did not think that was good.
I thought it was a fun movie.
It was, yeah, it was alright.
Anyway, this is not the Fantastic Four review.
No, it isn't.
No, we'll roast that. I mean, review that. Anyway.
Oh, did you ask me?
I really liked it. I remember when it came out a long while back and like thinking what they were gonna do with it. At the time, I will admit he was not one of my favorite characters. But then after I watched the movie, funny enough, I actually grew up. There was an older movie that they made in like the 60s or 80s that we got at a garage sale, an old VHS. That kind of shows my age. That we watched profusely, and I was like that. So it was really, I was like, ooh, how are they gonna remake this? Yeah, I was wondering how they were gonna do Red Skull, because I'm like, he's an interesting character in the prosthetic or whatever. His design was really, really cool. And yeah, they did a good pick with Chris Evans to be Captain America. I think the only thing I really was particular about was his mask. For some reason, didn't fit his face, or maybe that was just me.
Yeah, no, it was a little bit tight.
Like something weird here. I don't know. It was just me. It looked funky. But
Fair enough.
like aside from that, I love it, and I'm a kind of guy that loves World War II history, so like, yeah, I enjoyed it. That was dope.
Yeah, for me, I really liked the movie. First time I saw it, it was like really revolutionary for like the whole superhero kind of stuff, because it was like an ordinary guy that just became freaking dope. So yeah, it was really awesome.
Yeah. Really awesome.
All you had to say.
I mean, the action and explosions and weapons and
Yeah.
people falling into things and blowing up. And
I also love the whole love story part of it.
I actually really like that too, to be honest.
Not gonna lie, I cry every time.
He does.
You did.
Just a little bit though.
Just a little.
Few
bit
shed
of
manly tears.
Few manly tears. Yeah, but yeah, real men cry.
Yeah.
Captain America cried probably at
He
one
did.
point in his life.
Yep.
I'm sure he cried a lot when he crashed into the ice and then those tears formed into ice. And
Yep.
Wow, that would hurt. That would hurt. Just eyeballs filled with ice.
I think just freezing as a whole would hurt a lot. It's like hypothermia, but in an ice cube.
I feel like he flash froze though because he his body stayed the same over time, so he flash froze, so he didn't really feel anything. It was just like 1 second he's moving, chill, have a good temperature, next boom, he's frozen. You know what I mean? Like Fry from Futurama.
Fry. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's like cryo, but I don't know.
So. Well, you know, Captain America is a Christian.
This is true.
There's a good line in the Avengers where he's like, he says, he's like, there's only one God, mama, he doesn't dress like that.
Pretty sure he doesn't wear a cape.
Yeah, pretty sure he doesn't wear a cape, that was it. Yeah, God does not wear a cape. Yeah. But, yeah, Cap is a good, ideal Christian man, I'd say. You know what I mean? Very, very humble, very loyal, very, good morals about him. He was always looking for that right dancing partner in Peggy. Well, I don't want to go into that again. And yeah, even just his whole humility about him is like insane. Like as a small man, he was no different than when they had all the muscles. He was always looking out for the little guy, looking out for the unspoken. Really trying to keep that. Even through the transformation they went through, then he was still that strong little man. And with all the humility in his heart, where he then put himself above any other soldier. There's like moments like when he went off and saved everyone and came back into the camp and reported to his authorities. He then be a big braggy little guy about it. He was like, I'm ready for my, what was it?
My next mission?
No, he said I'm ready for my disciplinary action
Oh yeah,
for
that's
going
right.
against your orders. He was still, under authority. He was still recognized authority. And then whenever Red Skull was all in, what makes you so great and awesome and all this, he was just like, nothing, I'm just a kid from Brooklyn. Just peak humility. That through all the epicness that he is, he was still just a kid from Brooklyn.
I think it's a good I was just thinking about this now. I think it's a good reflection on what life is as a Christian. So like before he got into the serum, the Captain America powers, he was just, like I said, little scrawny kid from Brooklyn, just trying to do his best. And he was trying to do it on his own. He was struggling, but he still kept pushing forward and he still stuck to his morals, even if he could get, even if a gust of wind can blow him over. And then after he gets his powers, he thinks, I'm sure, he kind of reflects like, oh, sweet, now I can do what I wanted to do that I think is great. But then he gets surprised when he says, they're like, nope, you can't go to the front lines, you actually have to be a commercial figure, which was not his ideal. But he still jumped in it anyway, even though it probably frustrated him to no end to read a script off of a plastic shield.
Yeah.
And it kind of reflects that just because, I don't know, before, at least for me, before I had an experience of Christ and followed as a Christian, I was kind of just stumbling along post Captain America Steve Rogers, trying to do what's best, even though it was stumbling, not really working out, and keep trying and trying and trying. But then after experiencing God, it's kind of when you get the serum, and it's oh, everything makes sense, and you kind of take it all in, and then God gives you the graces, and in the sense the serum. And then you think, oh, now I know it's going to be great, and I have all these expectations, and then it kind of it's surprised, well, why these, even what he did was important to do, the bonds and stuff like that. They weren't it wasn't what he was expecting to be for great, but that basis of getting that, even that exposure of being Captain America was what, after when he started doing great things was what helped him get recognized, in a sense. So that bit was important, even though it seemed simple and not as important. And and in time he was able to do. Because like if he wasn't doing that, he wouldn't have been at the 107th to find out that Bucky and his friends are missing, and he wouldn't have taken the leap to try to save them. It's like it was all kind of part of his path and the plan. Yeah, what was it? The Star Spangled Man with a plan.
Exactly.
What is your plan today?
Yeah.
He's still skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, like, even after he met Christ, like even after one meets Christ, life doesn't get easy. Still, it still becomes tough. But like, he equips you. Yeah. That was kind of my takeaway from it.
What do you think, Jeremy?
I thought a lot of the things that you guys are saying I very much thought as well, but one of the main things that I realized or noticed from the movie is that Captain America is insanely loyal. His friend Bucky obviously was like captured and taken behind enemy lines, and he was so loyal to his friend that he dropped everything he was doing and like ran away from his post and went and found Bucky and saved him because he had like such an amazing degree of loyalty that he just wanted to be there for his friend and to pull him out of the danger that he was in. Then also another point, Captain America was being assigned a team, and the fella that he was in charge of him offered him a team, but Captain America decided, no, I'm going to keep the guys that I know, and that again shows his loyalty, that he would choose his friends over a bunch of people he doesn't know. Like the fact that he was growing up in ranks, like going up in his ranks, he it didn't get to his head. Like he still stayed loyal to the people that he was friends with, and he brought them along with him, and that shows a really good moral. It's pretty dope.
Absolutely. See, for me, a lot of things that stand out with Captain America is the reflection of him and David from the Old Testament, and how he was just kind of like a really small, skinny guy, but still had all the bravery and heart of a giant. And even facing his Goliath day to day, he did not back down. He stood there and held up his weapon and took it on. And then whenever the time came for him to be the hero, he stepped up and he became like the greatest king of all. And just the reflection of that between him and his moral of David is just awesome. Like always, like keeping in line to what he should and what the people above are telling him to. And then also the fact that he's not perfect. There's a little slip up where he may have kissed a little blonde woman that worked in the office. It's got Peggy pretty mad.
Yep.
Well,
she shot her.
Yeah.
Him.
David has his slip ups. A little bit weak for the woman, but we all got our weaknesses, don't we?
Going back to your thing on like humility, Kevin, I was just kind of realizing this now. Like one thing that the doctor said the serum did is it like accelerates everything that's already there. So what's bad gets worse and what's good gets better. Yeah. I was kind of thinking like with humility, that's like the root virtue of all virtues. So like the fact that he stayed in his humility and that he grew, like that was his root. He didn't like rely on his other things. That's what made a lot of all the rest of him even better. So like humility, I think is definitely really good. Like root virtue here, because he even with the plane thing, like when it was falling down, he could have just, I don't know, looking back, like me might have been able to just like have the thing go down and like just take one of those little bomb things down there and fly away. But even when he was going down, he wasn't thinking about glory. His motive was to save people. Like they weren't, because if he wanted to save his skin, they could have waited for Tony Stark or Howard Stark to try to save everything. But like he was still like, no, I gotta do this now because like otherwise people are gonna get hurt if we wait for other options. If this is the right move. So like it was never about anything else except for everybody else, and that's where humility makes a man.
Yeah, he was really always putting everyone else ahead of himself. Like whenever it came to his boss telling him to go in and just be a dancing monkey, he was all for it because that there's what was the benefit for the other people, because that's what he was being told. But whenever the second someone else was at risk from it, in this case Bucky, he dropped in, he said, nah, this is the point where it's above me, this is for them, this is what they need, I'm going out there, I'm putting I'm putting my career, my life on the line now for this. And it was all for the other man and not himself.
Yeah, he's definitely a servant-hearted leader.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one thing that I kind of noticed that was pretty cool is that you can kind of make a connection with Captain America, and whenever the serum came into him, also like you can make that connection between that and also how whenever we have God, we grow in our strength. Captain America, whenever he took the serum, like grew, I think it was 3 times stronger in so many different things. And it's the same with us whenever we have God. Like our strength, our humility, our fearlessness, all the things that we were talking about grows so much. And yeah, one of the things actually that was pretty cool was at one point they were talking about how they're gonna attack this base that Schmitz, or what do you call it? Schmitz, yeah. Or he was in. Captain America basically just said, okay, let's just go right through the front door. He was so fearless because he knew that like his powers were friggin' dope. And I feel like we can be the same with our Catholic faith. We know that God is with us, and so we can just go right up and knock on the front door and do what God needs us to do.
So the serum is like the Holy Spirit coming on us.
Yeah.
And communion too.
And communion, yeah. So it's like accepting in the Holy Spirit, like accepting in them superpowers to be the courageous, man of God that we're all born to be, or woman of God.
True.
That's
true.
Disclaimer: if you next time you receive communion and you don't get jacked, don't get mad at us.
Yeah.
We're talking metaphorically.
Yeah, man.
Communion are not steroids.
No.
Don't do steroids. Don't
Yeah,
do
they're
drugs.
bad.
Yeah, they're bad. Yeah.
I would rate this movie a 9 out of 10.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What gave it the -1?
The -1, I don't know. It was like, I felt like it was missing something that could have like elevated it to the perfect peak, but I also know it was supposed to be like just a puzzle piece in a big Marvel like bit. But yeah, like its core values, it was a very simplistic story. I don't know, I can't think of specific examples where it's just like minor little editing things that would have been different. But so that's why 9 out of 10.
What do you rate it?
I think it would be an 8 out of 10 because mainly because I've seen like all the other Marvel movies, and it was really, really dope. But all the other Marvel movies have gotten so much better since, and so I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
That's
Class, but,
That's fair.
Yeah, I'll probably rate it 8 exploding magic tanks.
wow, that's a lot of exploding magic tanks.
Magic tanks. Yeah, it is. Mostly because what you said, it's a really awesome movie, but there's been better. Obviously, there's better movies, and there could have been some other stuff that would have been better about it that my mind can't comprehend because of all the explosions I got taken over. But yeah, 8 exploding magic tanks out of 10.
8 exploding magic tanks. 8 exploding magic tanks out of 10.
Maximum Derek.
Maximum.
Derek.
That's
Right.
good.
Thank you guys so much for watching. This is our review of Captain America. We're gonna do these movie reviews bi-weekly now. So if you have any recommendations or movies you want to see us review, leave a comment or send us a message, and we'll consider it, and then we'll probably make a page review of it. So that was us. Take care and God bless.